Good morning, Mr. Felix.
Hi.
I want to ask you first, why you named the band the Cat Empire?
Well, we had a concert. We were a trio, and we had a concert, and we didn't know what the name of the band was, and we saw a picture of 3 cats on the fridge, and that my 8-year-old brother had drawn. And at the bottom of that picture, it was a very cool picture. It said the Cat Empire, and so we just looked over and said that's the name of the band. I think very simple. There's nothing more to it than that.
That is nice. Well, the next question is another kind of question, and it's why you cut your hair?
Why did I cut my hair?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because you look nicer with the long hair.
I look nice with the long hair. Yeah, maybe I should have kept it. I don't know. I was going to cut it today like a Barcelona cut, you know, like shave the sides and keep the mullet, but I don't know. I had long hair for a long time.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it while it was there, and then one day I decided it was time to cut it off. I think, I'm not sure why. Just sometimes these points in life come along.
Nice. If you are the Cat Empire, why you made a single named Wolves?
There are a lot of, it's funny, there are a lot of animal references lately in our music. Especially on this new album, we've got a song called Wolves, a song called Bulls, a song. I think there are a lot of animals that feature on the wild animals. I don't know why, just because that's how the chorus goes. That's how the chorus goes. We're going to run like wolves. I thought it was a nice line, and sort of based the song around it. One-word song titles are generally better because when you write set lists, you don't have to write long names. You can just use single words. So Wolves is easy.
Nice. So you are going to release a new album?
Next year, yes.
Next year?
Yeah, 2016. Yeah.
And now you have changed your lyrics, and I don't find any song that talks about friendship like before. Because I have listened all the discography of the Cat Empire before, and I loved the Cat Empire then. And so you release the new album and go to the world and touring and all that, and I want to know like the chariot or to shoes that talk about more. I don't know. I think that it's another feeling.
Yes, it's true. I think that that feeling is something that comes from youth, from starting out, you know. And so at the time when I wrote The Chariot and Two Shoes, I really believed those sentiments.
Yes.
It was about friendship, it was about travelling, it was about these things that were very, very exciting. And I think have been exciting for other people to travel with and to become involved. Since I'm a songwriter, I always have been and hopefully always will be, I now write about things which are more mysterious to me, which I can't explain as much. And I do that because it simply doesn't feel the same now to write like I was writing when I think I wrote The Chariot and Two Shoes when I was about 19 or something like that. So now I'm more interested in songs that have an atmosphere in the Cat Empire. I mean, Steal the Light or Brighter Than Gold from the last album are songs that I don't understand like that. I don't know exactly what they mean, but I know that they involve an atmosphere of great celebration for me that also brings people together in a way that I enjoy very much. So to answer your question, I think I've just changed into myself. I'm more interested in things that I can't understand rather than trying to say things as obviously as a 19-year-old says things. I think that's about as simple as I can put it.
So
you always have to try and be authentic in what you're writing.
Yes.
The only things I regret, even though I think some songs, when I look back, are kind of are silly or I'm being embarrassed about them or whatever like that. I think if they were written and they felt authentic at the time, even if they were making us laugh or something like that, then that's good. The only songs I really regret, or moments I regret, is when we weren't being authentic. You know, when it wasn't true at that point, but we still did it. There's not that many of them, but there's a couple, and that's the only things I regret. But if I sat down and wrote a song now about pretending to be like I used to be or something like that, now then I don't think it would be authentic, and I think that would be wrong. So I have to try and write about what excites me now.
Cool. So let's continue with this. In your side, you say that the chaos and the beauty of Athens played a big part of your song's atmosphere.
Mhm.
Yes. I personally think that Athens is a very dark city, but with very bright people.
Yes, I totally agree. Yeah.
And so I want to know that feeling that you felt and inspired you to make your songs. What's that and how it?
I was in Athens in 2012, I think. That's when I was there. And I was working, or at least visiting a friend who was working on the Special Olympics in the Marble Stadium. And I was also, I was sort of in the middle of a very, very difficult breakup as well. So even in my heart, I was very, very torn up at that point. But anyway, I was staying in a small 2-star kind of backpackers hotel in Monastiraki. And I would walk through Monastiraki where people were protesting each day and camped out in front of the Parliament building. So I'd walk through all of that each day on the way to this marble stadium where they were getting ready for the opening ceremony of the Athens Special Olympics. And I would do this every day. Sometimes there was tear gas, sometimes there was, there were fires in shops and things like that. I never felt like I was in danger. But I was very fascinated to be in that city. And at night time, I'd go and drink with people who I met. I'd talk to a lot of young people there, young people with very bright faces, and I was very interested in the situation as it was unfolding. And then I would also spend time in this very, very beautiful mythological building, at sunset. So I had this sense of deep calm and beauty in one sense, and a lot of grit, violence, darkness, like you said, amongst young people and what was going on in the city at the same time. And that, for me, is very, very exciting as a songwriter, to be involved in this range of emotions. And the celebrations for the Special Olympics were kind of amazing. They were controversial because people were angry that they were spending money on it. But to see the athletes there was a very beautiful thing for me. They were mostly people with Down syndrome, and they were walking past, and I don't think I've ever seen so much joy, just human exuberance, ever in my life, which is no mean feat because I've seen a lot of exuberance in my life. And then I also travelled into the darkness of the city in many ways, I think, as well. So I had a very, very deep experience in Athens over about 2 or 3 weeks, while these austerity rites were going on. And it was very significant in terms of the atmosphere for the music, I think, and for the songs that I wrote after that, which were Still Light, Brighter Than Gold, Still Young, these songs from...
yes, that have that feeling.
That have that chaos and darkness as well. Yeah, totally, yes. So I mean, I really can say, sometimes when people talk about their travels and music, it feels like a bit of a lie because you never really know where songs come from. But I think I can honestly say that my experiences in Athens during that time had a very, very profound effect on me and really went into my songs after that time.
You have been touring since a long time.
Yeah, about 12 years, 12 or 13 years.
Yes, yeah. And you tour all the year? You are...
No. There's a myth about the band that says we tour all through the year. We've toured a lot, we've done, especially when we were younger, we travelled a lot. But these days we do about 3 or 4 months a year. Yeah, if it's an album release cycle, it's more on the 4-month side. Which is still quite a lot. It's a very, very intense life touring. A very, very strange life as well, but it has very bright moments. It has long grey passages and very bright moments.
And when you are traveling and not playing in any place, what are you doing? You visit cities or you just travel?
No, a band our size, with as many people in it, is like a shark. It has to keep on moving and performing each night because that's how we make a living. So we really don't get many nights off. When we do get nights off, we do things like get food, do our laundry, get some sleep in a hotel, whatever. Like it's generally everything's based around the shows every day, or most days anyway.
So you live for the fans and days?
We live for the fans. Actually, we do. It's a good way to put it. We absolutely live for the fans and for our own experience of performing music, which is a kind of a rare and wonderful thing when it's good. And we put up with a lot of crap around that, a lot of band rooms, a lot of strange places, just for those few hours each day on stage with these people. Yeah.
And you expected to be in that place. So, I mean, to be so big that in the world.
No, I didn't. I never expected it. I kind of dreamed of it, I think. I think the Canary Pies is a strange band, a kind of a strange band. It's difficult to describe the music. It can't really be defined in terms of a category. It has two singers. It has a very, very dedicated, exuberant audience that come to the shows. It has great, really, really talented virtuosic musicians, you know, in the keys and things like that. It's sometimes completely stupid. It's sometimes very, very emotional. It's a strange band, a strange and sometimes wonderful band, I think, and I don't have many explanations for it.
I think it's a human band.
Yeah, I think it's a human band too. I was young when I started it, and I was very, very determined. So I worked very hard, and I would set goals, like if I could play to 1,000 people, that would be the best thing, you know. And then after we played to 1,000 people, it was like if I could play at a big festival, that would be amazing. Or if we could make an album, so we had goals along the way. But they reached a point a while back now where I thought it's kind of achieved everything that I dreamed it could achieve, and now I just would like to be surprised by where it could go next, and what's going to happen. Yeah.
So we can say that you are happy.
Well, happiness is an elusive thing, but I have.
I know, but like happiness is a process. So you are in.
Well, sometimes I'm happy and sometimes I'm not. What I would mean to say is that there's an illusion around the Cat Empire that we're happy, which is not true, and I don't want to promote that necessarily to say that everyone in the band is always happy. You know, we're people. We're also people in a very, very often cramped and difficult situation, so we fight, and we have a lot of tension around the shows. We sometimes communicate badly. Like we're human in that way as well, and I think what people should also know that for music to be able to get cracks in it, you know, cracks that potentially release moments of joy for people watching or performing it. It has to be surrounded by all of those murky human emotions as well. There's very, very dark feelings, very, very joyful feelings, and the happiness is the movement of something when it's going well at that point. When you don't have to think. That's my only definition of happiness, is when you no longer have to consider this question of what happiness is or isn't, but when you're in the movement of something that you find enjoyable, then that's the best we can hope for. And I get that sometimes when I perform, and I get that often when I write, and I get that when I'm totally away from music as well, like when I can go to the desert, or I can go to the ocean, or be with a person who I love, or whatever it is.
The desert?
Yeah, the desert in Australia, I love going there. It makes me feel very, very, very open.
What kind of public do you enjoy most? I've been to a lot of concerts, and I see a lot of public.
A lot of different publics, yeah, it's true. It's an interesting question. I like, my favourite kind of audience is when there's a real combustion in the room, but it's not so much that they stop listening, you know? Like I love it when there's the fine line between people being very, very excited and in a mood to celebrate, but when they also listen to the music and the intricacies of the music as well, because that makes an exchange that can possibly go in a number of different directions. And that sometimes has to do with the band, it sometimes has to do with the audience, what time you play, how drunk they are, how sunburned they are, how tired they are, how excited they are. There's lots of things that go into it, and also the band as well. The same set of criteria really. So whatever it is, when an audience is full of life and excited, and also listening, that's the best kind of audience. Which we often get, and I think we're very fortunate. We're a very fortunate band.
Your music demands that.
Yeah, it does. I think it's true, and the people who come to our shows are very great people to play to collectively, and I think a lot of them meet each other there as well. I often get this sense that when someone comes to the concert, it's the night when anything could happen, and I think I've heard a lot of stories of people making friends or finding lovers or whatever it is at the concerts, and that makes me quite happy to hear that.
Yeah. You're here, and 5 years before, I sent an email to the Cat Empire saying,
Uh-huh.
please come to Pasad.
Yeah, okay. No, we're back. We've been here quite a lot lately. Yeah.
How much time as a band you need to complete a song?
It really depends. It's an open question because some songs come together very easily, some songs we really struggle. A song like Steal the Light, for example, sounds kind of, it took us ages to get that one right. That was the one on the last album that was very difficult. And some songs just come together in a couple of hours. I think the thing for young musicians to remember is that great albums have been made in a day, and great albums have been made in 5 years, so there's not any rule for what's right or wrong with that sort of stuff. It's trying to find the point where you get the real moment, I think.
I can do it. And like a drum, why it's Marina?
I don't know. Honestly, I can't even remember why it was Marina. I don't know. I can't remember. All I know is that with the Spanish songs that we had, I don't speak Spanish much, and I'd like to learn. No, I'd like to learn. It's been on my mind for a long time to learn it, but I enjoy singing bad Spanish because it's sometimes when a song starts, it starts with just noises, like no me digan, like it's sort of just. And then so when I don't feel like writing a song in English, I just call up one of my Spanish friends and say, hey, does this sound like anything? So we kind of just figured it out like that. I don't even know if it makes sense, but it was fun to do that. The Marina's just a character, I think. It sounds more like a Greek girl than a Spanish or Portuguese girl.
I think it's a nice name.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.